Hello, this is Ben119 and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be making a Pikmin 1 all parts speedrun tutorial. So anyone wanting to get into Pikmin 1 speedrunning, this is a really good place to start. So in this tutorial I'm going to be going over the 8-day route. You don't have to do it in 8 days, but obviously it's optimal to do it in 8 Pikmin days. But starting out, you most likely will be doing it in 9 days, might even be doing it in 10. But don't worry, as long as you follow the same route, you should be good. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing the full speed run. I'm going to be talking about every single day. I'm going to be talking about all of the tricks, different backup strategies you can do, and just talking about the category itself. So not only is it going to be a tutorial, but it's just sort of going to be my thoughts on the game, why I like speedrunning Pikmin 1, and sort of why I got back into speedrunning Pikmin after several years of sort of being inactive. I've been really busy with other stuff in life, and speedrunning's just not been at the top of my priorities. But I've got a little bit of time to speedrun now and then, and when I do, I guess I just got back into Pikmin 1 and I thought I'd do the Switch version because I hadn't really practiced the Switch version because I primarily did the Wii version. So yeah, I got into it and I learned the 8-day route, so this is what I'm going to be talking about here. So first thing you want to do is, once you gain control of Olimar, you want to mash through text using the A and B button. It's important that you use both buttons because it means you can mash quicker through the text. You don't just have to rely on one button, so having two inputs going into it is obviously going to be more effective. So what you want to do is run straight over to the onion, let it plant its seed, and while the seed is planting you can knock down these two pellets right here. Once you knock down the pellets, the Pikmin sprout should have plucked, and once it's plucked you can pull it out the ground. There you go, you got your first Pikmin. So like I said, I'm going to be doing the 8-day route here, but if it takes you longer than 8 days, it's completely fine. But this run is my PB, so this run is in 1 hour, 8 minutes and 51 seconds, which is a pretty solid time. It's 13th place on the leaderboard. It's not a bad time with the 8-day route. Because it's the Switch version, it is quicker than the Wii version, the GameCube version, because of loading times, controls are easier. You don't have to rely on like the bomb mechanics that are in the GameCube version. So what you want to do here is you want to throw 2 Pikmin on that pellet right there. The reason is because that pellet is the determining factor for this segment, and the determining factor basically means the thing that needs to sort of get done first. So we're going to be waiting on that pellet, so we want to speed that up. So what you want to do here is get all your Pikmin, throw them on the 5 pellet. As you can see, I already left 3 Pikmin closer to the 5 pellet, and that's simply so I could just throw them quicker. It's a very small time save, but all these little time saves will add up over the run. And even if you're not comfortable doing them at first, it's okay, but you'll naturally just get better at the game. So right here you want to speed up the 5 pellet like I just did, and then with the extra Pikmin you've got, put it on this 1 pellet right here. Then what you want to do is get all these Pikmin here, throw 5 of them on the box, and then you want to throw the other one on the 1 pellet. And then what you want to do is you want to pluck as many Pikmin as you can, and then once you reach 10, you want to put them on the box. So I'm only going to pluck 3 because we've got 2 coming in with the pellet already. So there you go, I'm going to pluck 3, and then I'm going to use the other 2. Then we have 5. So what I do there is I disband the Pikmin that are put in the pellet in the onion, because then it regroups all of them really quick. One of the pros to playing on the Switch version is that you can choose whether you want to use motion controls or whether you just want to use the classic GameCube controls. Personally, I would say motion controls are faster because you can aim further, you can kind of aim quicker as well. Personally, I do prefer the GameCube control scheme, even though I did used to run the Wii version. So naturally, I actually play with the motion controls off. There is a few tricks that makes it easier with the motion controls, so I quickly switch to motion controls and switch back. But if you play primarily with motion controls, it's probably best, but it's just a preference thing with this route. When you're getting into more advanced Pikmin 1 speedrunning, then it will matter, but for the 8-day route that I'm doing here, it's very beginner friendly, and you can just use whatever control scheme you want. So with this pellet section right here, it's very important that you speed up the 1 pellets first before you grab the 5 pellet. And that's because they're the determining factor of this segment. So once all of the 1 pellets enter the onion, you want to activate the main engine cutscene, and the reason why you do that is the Pikmin actually sprout during the cutscenes. And because they sprout during cutscenes, it's sort of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. We're discovering a cutscene, and we're also allowing them to grow, which saves a little bit of time. So for this section we need 20 Pikmin, so once we get to 20 right here, we can just grab them all and run over to the main engine. I found the best way of grabbing the engine is throwing the Pikmin. You can disband them onto the engine, but I find that they naturally take longer to pick it up. It can be a little bit of RNG here, whether they pick it up quicker or not. But to be fair, you shouldn't really be resetting to day 1 when you're new, because the whole run you're going to save more time later in the run. Day 1 is a very small portion of the game. Even if your day 1 is a bit slow, it doesn't matter. As soon as you've got the other 5, just put them on the part. Something I would recommend doing is keep the ship part on screen. If you don't keep it on screen, it will move slightly slower. I think if you look away from parts, I think because they're unloaded, they just move a tiny bit slower. It's a very small sort of amount of time slower, but just to be optimal, always keep it on screen. So we're just keeping it on screen right here. So if you're new to the game and you don't know much about speedrunning, the game can actually be beaten in 6 Pikmin days, which means you do 1 day in Impact Site, 1 day in Forest of Hope, 1 day in Forest Navel, another day in Distant Spring, you go back to Impact Site and you do an extra day there just to get the other part, and then you do Final Trial, which adds up to 6 days. You actually do the Impact Site before the Distant Spring though, to grow blues. Now that route is very difficult. It's very hard to get all the parts in 1 day in Forest of Hope and Forest Navel, so we're doing the 8-day route, which is basically where we get 6 parts in Forest of Hope, we get 5 parts in Forest Navel, and then we go to Distant Spring on day 4, so we can collect all 10 parts in 1 day. And the reason we do it on day 4 is because snitch bugs spawn in the area on day 5. So if we do it on day 4, it means we can get through the area without having to worry about the snitch bugs and the extra blowhogs that spawn. Naturally, if you're new to running this category, you might not be able to get the parts in time to get to Distant Spring on day 4. So what I'd recommend you do is either practice the days until you can do it, or if you're new, just get to the area on like day 5. It really doesn't matter if you have to go to Distant Spring on day 5, because it just means you'll have to deal with the snitch bugs, but I can sort of go over that in Distant Spring once we get to it. So right here with the bridge section, or the wall section, you want to get all of your Pikmin on the wall apart from 1, and you want to throw that extra Pikmin onto the red pellet, and then you want to get it to collect the yellow pellet, just so we can grow some Pikmin. And then what you want to do is you want to have the Pikmin help on the wall. So this category, I think it's a really enjoyable category. It's definitely very hard to get into, and it takes a long time to sort of get good at it. It's one of those speed games that is a lot harder than it looks as a viewer. As a viewer, this game looks pretty easy, but once you play it, you'll realize how difficult the control schemes are and how difficult the routing is, really, as a new player. But you kind of just take it for granted once you got good at it. So honestly, don't be too hard on yourself if you start failing things. So once the gate is down, you want to put 10 Pikmin on the 10 pellet, you want to kill the dwarf bulbobs, and you want to knock down all these 1 pellets. Killing the dwarf bulbobs, it's always good to throw the Pikmin directly on top, because it kills them straight away. Now, there is a small chance that they'll drop a 1 pellet when they die, so if they do, I'd collect the extra 1 pellet. Then what you want to do is you want to run over here and you want to kill these 2 dwarf bulbobs. I threw an extra Pikmin onto the 10 pellet just to speed it up, but starting out you really don't need to worry about that because this section might take you so long that by the time you get back it'll already be back. So then what you want to do is you want to collect the 5 pellet that's up there and you want to throw the rest of your Pikmin on the pellets. And then what you want to do is go back to the onion, and you should have about 12 Pikmin back. And once you've done that, you want to go back out to the main part of the area right here and collect more pellets. So ideally you want to collect every single corpse and every single pellet in this area, just so you can grow the maximum amount of reds possible. The more reds you grow, the better. So yeah, This section takes a little bit of practice. Once you get your aim down, it's just sort of a matter of aiming at the pellets, making sure the Pikmin grab onto the right pellets. You'll just get faster at it naturally, but again, like I said, when you start out, you'll probably be a lot slower, and you'll get faster over time, so as long as you're just following the route and you're improving slowly, it really doesn't matter too much. Don't be hard on yourself. And as soon as you have all the Pikmin on, you just want to pluck all of these Pikmin as fast as you can. It's really important that you get to plucking as fast as you can, because that's the main thing you need to do, and it's going to be the main thing that you're waiting on. So, like I said, in this area, we're going to be collecting 6 parts in one day. The only 2 parts we're not going to be collecting is the Libra, I think it's called, the part where you have to build the bridge to get to it, and we won't be getting the Snagret piece either, because we'll be going back on day 6 to get those 2 pieces. So once you've plucked all your Pikmin, you want to nectar as many of them up as possible. Nectaring up Pikmin is ideal because it makes them move quicker, it makes them attack enemies better. So it's just optimal for performance really, because if you have all leaves then they're going to be slower, that will make you slower too. So once you've got your army of Pikmin, you should have anywhere between 75 to 80 blues. I recommend just going for this wall right here, and you want to put on Pikmin until you have at least 30. So you want to go over here with your 30 Pikmin, and you want to throw them all up onto this ledge here. There is a technique you can do called C-stick throwing, where you C-stick the Pikmin around Olimar and you mash the A button. I don't even bother with C-stick throwing in this video. It's a technique you can do if you want to get faster, but I just want to show that you can do an 8-day run without any sort of crazy techniques, and it can be very beginner friendly. So what you want to do right here is you want to disband 29 Pikmin onto the part. You want to wake up the Bulborb and then throw the other Pikmin onto it. And then what you want to do is you want to lure the Bulborb into this left corner right here. And what you want to do is distract the Bulborb and let the Pikmin carry the part past. This can be quite hard, so definitely practice it. The main thing you want to do is you really want to make sure the Bulborb sees you before the Pikmin. If the Bulborb sees the Pikmin, he'll go straight for the Pikmin and eat them. And if he eats even one Pikmin, then the part won't be able to get carried and it will lose you a lot of time. So it's really important that you wake the Bulborb before you move the part, because then the Bulborb has a chance to see you before the Pikmin. Once you've done that, you can head straight over here, and the wall will definitely be knocked down by then. And you want to kill a little dwarf Bulborb on the way, and activate the onion. Now what you want to do is you'll have about 10 seconds before the Pikmin is grown, so use that time to kill the big Bulborb with the reds, leave your reds to the side, and then pluck the yellow Pikmin. So there you go, that's sort of the first half of the Forest of Hope. And now we're going to getting into the second half. So in the second half we're going to be growing yellows, and we're going to be collecting a bunch of ship parts. So the first half of this area is sort of dedicated to growing Pikmin, and the second half is dedicated to grabbing parts. Same sort of with Forest Naval. Well, with Forest Naval it's sort of the opposite. We spend the first half of the day getting parts, and then the second half of the day growing Pikmin. So you only really need 15 yellows total, but because this is sort of a beginner friendly tutorial, we're going to be grabbing a few extra. So we're going to grab this dwarf Bulborb corpse, and we're also going to put 4 reds on the big Bulborb. The reason we're doing that is because we're actually going to carry back the big red Bulborb with yellows, and that'll give us loads of extra yellows. So if we lose some yellow Pikmin in this level, or we lose some yellows later on, it means that we're not completely screwed. We can just carry on the run. Because the problem with some Pikmin routes is that if you even lose 1 or 2 Pikmin, you kind of have to go really far out of your way to grow more. So I made sure with this route that you can lose a few Pikmin and you'll still be okay. There's a lot of leeway for new players, which I think is important, and even for like intermediate players, because loads of things can go wrong with Pikmin. So once you carry back the Bulborb, you can then grab a bomb rock, and what I do here is I grab the bomb rock while the Pikmin are being sprouted, and what that will do is it will allow me to pluck the Pikmin quicker because they'll grow during the cutscene. You know how on day 1 we activated the main engine cutscene to let the Pikmin grow quicker? Well, we did 2 things at once. I did the exact same thing there with the bombs. So now what you want to do is you want to throw your yellows into this can to collect bombs. It's important you throw the Pikmin rather than disband them. If you throw them, they'll come straight back to you. If you disband them, they'll take longer to pick up the bombs, and if they don't, they'll just stay idle. Now what you want to do is you want to run over here. Be very careful to avoid the ball bulb on your left. And then you want to put 40 Pikmin, preferably red Pikmin, onto the main not the main engine, onto that part there. I forget what some of the ship parts are called, so just excuse me when we're talking about parts. But you just want to make sure there's 40 on there, and you want to make sure the yellows grab more bombs. And then what you want to do is you want to load up this part with Pikmin. So there we go. Just put on just over 30. And then what you want to do right here is use your bomb rocks on this wall. So just throw 3 bomb rocks right in the middle of the wall. There we go. It's always best to throw central to the wall. If you throw on a weird angle, the Pikmin can sometimes run straight back to Olimar without blowing up the bombs. So it's really important that you just take extra consideration with walls. You make sure you aim properly. And then while we're waiting for the other parts to get back, we can just nectar up our yellow Pikmin. So using the nectar patch on the right, we can do that. The nectar is RNG based, so you'd never know if you'll get nectar or not, but you just gotta hope you do. There's a very small chance you don't get nectar. I think it's like, works out to be about a 5% chance of not getting nectar, so it's very low, but it can happen, and it has happened to me before. If it happens, you just have to kind of roll with it, really, and just make the best with what you've got. So right here, we use our Pikmin to kill the ball bulb. And then what we want to do is we want to throw 4 bombs up here and throw 4 bombs at the wall. And then we head through here. And we're going to be doing our first main exploit of the run. So we want to kill this dwarf ball bulb here. I'm going to turn into motion controls because it makes it easier. And what you want to do is you want to aim on this side of the wall right here. So you see the right pillar, you want to aim just to the side of it with a bomb rock. And what it will do is the Pikmin will run across and will place a bomb rock on the wall. And what will happen is the wall will get destroyed. And then what you want to do is you want to go around here and you want to kill this ball bulb. Now one of my Pikmin was an absolute idiot because he woke up the ball bulb before I could get to it. So what that means is he managed to eat a few. Now this is a common mistake that can happen. To prevent that, you can go tighter to the wall, but because I was being stupid, I ended up getting a few eaten. But it's not the end of the world because we grew extra yellows and we got plenty of reds. And later on in this day, I'm going to show you a quick way of growing more reds if you lose some. So right here, you want to grab 9 bomb rocks. I would recommend grabbing 10, just because if you grab 9 and something goes wrong with one of the bomb rocks, then you've got to go all the way back and lose a load of time. I think I grabbed 9 in this example. And you also want to fully load that part with reds. You don't want to put yellows on the part because number 1, the yellows will probably be leaves, and number 2, you need yellows for this section. You want to disband your Pikmin in that corner right there and grab only your reds. The reason I put them in the corner is because if I put them anywhere else, they'll grab onto the pellets or they'll grab onto the ball bulb. And then what you want to do is you want to run through here and you want to attack all the shearwigs and the shear grubs. The reason you do that is because they get in the way later on. And it just makes this part much easier and much safer. So as you can see right here, if you throw directly on top, it kills them quicker. So it's kind of just practice really. But the only advice I'd really give here is do not swarm, because if you swarm it takes longer, they die, all your Pikmin will die quicker. And right here I just picked up a few of the purple like shearwigs and shear grubs. The reason I pick up the purple ones is each purple one grows 3 Pikmin total, so doing that will grow me an extra 12 reds. Now what you want to do is you want to go to this black gate over here, and you want to use your bomb rocks on it. So the black gate takes 9 bomb rocks, so we want to use all of our bomb rocks here, and that should blow down the gate. And right now you want to head back to base, and you should have just under a quarter of the day left. If you've got more than 2 ticks of time, then you're definitely on to beating this day. I would honestly say day 2, 3 and 4 are the hardest days to do, because you have to manage your time really well. Then you want to throw your Pikmin onto this ledge here, and you want to throw your Pikmin until you have about 50 left. I was taking a little bit of extra time here because I wanted to make sure the leaf Pikmin and the bud Pikmin were up there, because I wanted them to get nectared. So you want to go into this section with 50 or 51 Pikmin. I'd recommend 51 because it gives you leeway in case you lose a Pikmin because you might have forgot to kill a shear grub. So the reason I don't kill the white shear grubs, or I don't care about killing them as much, is because the white ones don't actually kill your Pikmin. It's only the purple ones that do. So you can leave the white ones alive and it's not a big deal. So throw 20 on the wheel and throw 30 on the bolt. You want to actually swarm the bolt because it's quicker. And then what you want to do once you've done that is you want to go around here and you want to go through the gate that you've blown up in the water. Whistle your bomb rock Pikmin over here and throw them on the black gate. That should explode the gate. Then you want to take all your other Pikmin. Now there is a strategy where you can just clog up the cannon beetle's head, but I much prefer to just kill him. So you want to face him there, throw a Pikmin in the snout, and then when he opens up, go around the back and just cover him in red Pikmin. He should die really quickly because red Pikmin do more damage. And then run over to the part and grab it. Just completely swarm it with Pikmin. Once all the Pikmin have grabbed onto the part, you want to head back to base, and at base you want to pluck any Pikmin that are in the ground, and you also want to speed up the part as much as possible. So doing this day can be really difficult as a casual player, and I'll give you some solutions to this. So if you are doing this day and you manage to only get 4 pots out of 6, keep doing the Forest Naval as you normally would, but instead of going to Distant Spring on day 4, because you won't have unlocked Distant Spring if you don't get enough parts, you can always go back to this area and do what would be day 6 on day 4 to get the extra 2 parts. So then if you have the extra 2 parts, you then have enough to go to Distant Spring. Or you could go ahead and do the Impact Site day, or you could do Forest Naval too. But the quickest way of doing it is by doing 6 parts in one day and then doing 5 parts in Forest Naval. So we've got plenty of time. I know it says hurry up, but we've got absolutely plenty of time to get the part back. So we're going to spend the rest of the day plucking these extra Pikmin. And I'm going to walk back here and I'm going to try and nectar up a few Pikmin while we're waiting. So we'll speed up the part a little bit. And then we're going to throw any of our buds and leaves onto this nectar here, just to try and get a few extra flowers for day 3. Don't worry if you don't have time to do this, you'll naturally get better at the route, and the better you get, the more time you'll have. This day can be super tight when you're starting out, and I know when I started out with this category, the timer would sometimes get to 1 second left when I'm getting the 6th part in. But now when I do it, I can normally get all the parts in before, as it says hurry up. So it's just a natural case of just getting better at the game. So there we go, that is day 2. And there's a lot to sort of process there. But I'm sure you'll all do fine, anyone following the tutorial. It's just a case of practice really. So now we're going to be doing day 3. Now day 3 we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on this day. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take out a bunch of reds. Now I'm going to take out 82, and then you want to take out 18 yellows. So if you have less than 82 reds, you want to take out more yellows, and you want to make sure you put on 3 reds onto the wall and 3 yellows onto the wall. So you have 6 Pikmin on that wall, and the rest of your Pikmin should be following you. Now you must have at least 15 yellows with you at this point, because we'll be grabbing 15 bomb rocks later on. Now this section right here can be really difficult for new players, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be killing a bunch of blowhogs, and we're also going to be getting the bread bug. So right there, the blowhog actually blew the yellows on fire, but I quickly reacted to it by taking them out. So we put some red Pikmin on the bread bug pellet. Now the bread bug will always go for pellets, so what you want to do is you want to basically kill the blowhogs and kill the shearwigs, and the bread bug will usually grab one of the pellets. There's like a 99% chance he will. If he doesn't, you can always get him later in the day, but it's very rare that that will happen, so just watch out for the bread bug. The best way to kill these blowhogs is you want to wait until they're about to attack you, and then you want to attack them. So if you do it wrong, like right here, I made a mistake. So basically I attacked the blowhog before he saw me, and because of that, he basically shook all the Pikmin off, and if he shakes them off, it deflowers them, and that can lose a bit of time. So right there, that's the correct way of doing it. You want to wait till the blowhog sees you, and then you want to swarm all of your Pikmin, even the yellows. Don't worry, the yellows shouldn't set on fire if you do it correctly. It will take a bit of practice, But again, it's as simple as just swarming them and just making sure that they see you. And with the switch controls, it's really not that hard once you get it down. But again, these things just take time, and practice makes perfect. So right here, what you want to do is once you've killed those 4 blowhogs, you want to make sure you kill those 4. You don't need to kill the other 2 blowhogs. The other blowhog's really close to the Wollihop, and the other one's around a corner, so you don't want to do that, because they're not going to be in your way anyway. So you want to get all of the pellets and all of the corpses, and you want to leave them right here. You want to create a little bit of space there, and you want to leave a bit of space near the blue onion, to sort of just pile it all up near there. The reason we're piling up so many corpses is so that we can use them to grow blue Pikmin, because we want to grow like 90 blue Pikmin later on in the day. So you want to go over to this bridge right here, and you want to throw like 90% of your reds on the bridge. You don't need to throw them all, but just throw like most of them on there. Then you want to disband your Pikmin and throw 15 yellows onto this part of the wall here. You want to make sure the Pikmin are to the right, because if they're too close to the bridge, they'll start helping on the bridge, and you don't want them to do that. Then you want to throw them into the sort of place where you get the bomb rocks, the bomb rock cave there. And then once they grab their bomb rocks, they'll come straight back to you, and you can throw them straight back onto the ledge. Use the geyser to get up a little bit quicker. Whistle your bomb rocks, and you want to throw 9 bomb rocks into this corner down here. So there we go, that's 9, so we got 6 left. And the bridge should be finished just as you're doing that. Now, I got some nectar from this patch here. So I took a little bit of time just to flower up my Pikmin, because to me it's really important that the Pikmin are flowered. Now right here, you want to lure this Wollihop towards you and make him jump. The sort of visual cue to do it is you'll see that on the floor, part of the floor is blue and part of the floor is sort of like a dirt colour, and you want to kind of look where the lines cross and sort of stand there and lure him over. Then you want to go over here and you want to blow up that gate with the yellow Pikmin. You just want to make sure the flame's not in your way. And then you want to go down here with just your reds and kill the Puffstool. So best way of doing that, throw a few Pikmin on the Puffstool, he'll run off and turn over, and then you just want to spam a load of Pikmin on top of him. And then what you want to do is by hand, you want to throw a load of Pikmin onto this part. Make sure you have exactly 30. And then on the Puffstool, you want to make sure you got exactly 30 on that as well. Not 30, 10. You make sure you have exactly 10 Pikmin on the Puffstool body. And the reason you grab the Puffstool body is because it makes you loads of Pikmin. And we're going to leave that near the blue onion too. Now we've got 37 reds, and we're going to go into the BD Longlegs arena. So you can lose a few reds here. You do not need to worry about being perfect on this section. If anything, you want to lose a few just because we need to sort of limit the amount we have on the field. So the best way of doing this fight is you want to aim for the middle of the head, and you sort of want to do a lot of light whistles. So anytime the Pikmin fall off, you want to lightly whistle them and get them to come back to Olimar. And you just want to be careful that these all don't get crushed at once. This fight, it's really hard to explain the best way of doing it, but you kind of just want to stay out of his way, stay in the middle, make sure they're always on his head, because if they lose, like, if they fall off of his head, then his head will go higher up, so the more Pikmin that are on his head, the lower he ducks his head. And then what you want to do is you want to load up the part with all of your bud and leaf Pikmin. And the reason I do that is so I have purely flowers, and the flower Pikmin follow me quicker. A good way to do that is if you hold down A and you press X to switch between the Pikmin, then you'll be able to distinguish them. We'll grab our Bomb Rock Pikmin, and we want to leave the Puffstool corpse right here. Now if you're quick enough, the Puffstool corpse will be at about this point. If the BD Longlegs takes you longer to do, then you want to make sure you leave the corpse away from the other corpses. On the wall next to the corpse, as you can see, I threw 3 bomb rocks and I threw a red Pikmin, and we'll go back to that later. And you want to use the final 6 bomb rocks on this wall. And then what we're going to do is we're going to throw 3 Pikmin onto this body here. So we're going to throw 2 reds and a yellow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put away the rest of our yellows, because we don't need them anymore and we need space on the field. And then what we want to do is we want to drop this part right here. If you've done everything quick enough, the part should be at about this point. If you're a little bit slower, it might have passed you earlier, so just whistle it off earlier. And then what you want to do is you want to put 15 on that stick, and you want to whistle them, put them back on the part. The reason you take them off the part and put them back on it is because the part will then go through the blown up wall. If you don't do that, then they'll go the longer way around. And then you want to put the reds on the spring. And this is the reason we leave some Pikmin to the side. It's so that we can go around here and we can blow up the gate. It's quite hard to follow. Just rewatch the video if you need to. You can always watch the run with no commentary as well if you find it off-putting with the commentary. So right there, you just want to put 3 bomb rocks on the wall, and then once they've blown that up, you just want to throw them behind the wall to knock the wall down. The reason you throw them behind is so that the blowhog doesn't bother them. Because if you put them on the front of the wall, I think there's a chance the blowhog can kill them. So just make sure they're on the opposite side. And if you've done it correctly, the wall should be broken by the end of the day. And then you can finally access the blue onion. See, there's a lot to sort of cover, and I think this is quite a hard day to learn because there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of timings. And if you're sort of late to certain things, different parts will be in different places. Like if you take longer to do the BD Longlegs fight, then the puff stall will be further down the line. Piece of advice, you see the ledge up there where the spring is, just now, where the spring is just going past? If you take longer to do the BD Longlegs fight, then you want to leave the puff stall body up there instead. You don't want to leave the puff stall body near the other bodies because it then makes it hard to pick up or even glitches into the other parts and loses loads of time. If you leave it too close to the blue onion, it can get stuck and be awkward to pick up, so you just want to leave it on the flat part there. As you get better, you'll just naturally get a feel for the routing, you'll get a feel for the timings. It's going to be messy when you start. This day was extremely messy for me when I started off, but I've now got to a point where I can do it smoothly and teach you guys how to do it. So with the blue Pikmin, this is quite a chill part of the day, so we spend a lot of this day growing blues and collecting the rest of the parts. So 5 of the parts are sort of right near the base right now. I'm going to come back on day 5 to get the rest of them, but what we want to do today is we want to grow 90 blue Pikmin at least. So we're going to be collecting these pellets right here. So you want to collect the 5 pellet, and you want to collect all the pellets near the base. Because we put some Pikmin away, we now have 11 blues on the field. When you do put the Pikmin away, you want to make sure that you have at least 90 on the field, so then there's room for 10 blues. We actually have 11 blues here, which is great. So as you can see, because the puff stall piece is further away from the other corpses, we can just pick it up straight away. If the puff stall corpse was any closer, it would be awkward to pick up. So while we're picking that up, we're going to go back up here with our red Pikmin, and we're going to carry the ship parts that we left. So we're just going to carry that one there. And as you can see, the Pikmin that were on the white wall at the start of the day are now done. So we can now whistle them, and we can grab the Pikmin that are in the ground. So yeah, this day is quite hard to learn, but once you learn it, it becomes really easy. I'd say day 4 is sort of the hardest day of the run, and that's what we're going to be doing next. But after day 4, the rest of the run is a cakewalk. You should have no issue getting through the rest of the days, apart from maybe the final day. But Pikmin 1, I would definitely say the first half of the run is much harder than the second half. Once you get through day 4, the rest of the run is pretty much free until the final boss. That's just my opinion though. So there we go, we've collected 12 parts total, which means we've unlocked the distant spring. And then what you want to do right here is, as the Pikmin are about to grab the puff stall, you want to put away about 30 reds. A quick way of putting Pikmin away is if you hold down the Y button on the Pro Controller, you can quickly put away Pikmin. So you can put them away in groups of 10. That's something I never really knew, and even watching other speedruns, they never really explained that until I realised it from like another tutorial. But if you hold down the Y button when you're putting Pikmin in and out, it basically allows you to do it in multiples of 10, which is a Switch exclusive thing. And then what you want to do is you want to grab the Pikmin from the ground, and you also want to take out all of the blues that you've got from the puff stall, and you want to carry back all the corpses. Now, I got some sprouts because I made a silly mistake of putting my reds away a bit too quick. That doesn't matter too much because you need to sort of do this in 2 waves anyway. So right here, you just want to grab all of the blowhogs. You kind of want to grab what's at the back first, so then it gets there quicker. But yeah, this section can be awkward, but the more you practice it and the more Pikmin you have, the quicker you'll get. But just grab everything you can. The only thing I left there was the red pellet. That wasn't really very important, and I knew that I had way enough Pikmin. So if you grab all 4 blowhog bodies, you grab all the shearwigs and the pellets, you should have about 100 Pikmin total, so you'll be completely fine. So once all of those are going in, you want to go back up here, and you want to put away all of your Pikmin. So you want to put away all of your reds and all of your yellows. The reason we do that is because we want the field to be empty. So the only Pikmin that are on the field right now is the 4 that are on the gate that we had on there earlier, and the blues. And then what we can do is we can take out all of our Pikmin. So right here we're going to take out all of our blues that we got. So it says we have 95, we actually have 96, but there's a few extras in the onion. And then what you want to do with these blues is you want to go round here, you want to take it a bit slow because they're all flat, they're all leaf Pikmin. You want to go up here, you want to make sure none of them fall down, you just want to carefully stick them around this corner here. And if you go up here, there's always a honey wisp, so if you go near this plant, a honey wisp should always appear, so you want to knock it down and you want to try and flower up as many blues as you can. And over here is a second honey wisp, so if you go over here, you can basically nectar up the rest of them. And there you go, I nectared up pretty much all of them. If you want to nectar up more of them, you can go in the grass patch there to get some, and there's also a grass patch down on the beach that you can do too. But I didn't bother with that because pretty much all of them were flowered apart from a couple leaves, and it was just more optimal to do that. And the final thing we're doing on this day is we're going to get this piece out of the water. So you want to lure these 2 Wally Hops to this bottle here, and then you want to maximum load this part with Pikmin. I made a small mistake here and the Wally Hop jumped towards the part and killed 4 Pikmin. Not the end of the world, but not ideal either. But it's not too bad. And then you want to lure that other Wally Hop so he's away. And there you go, you just want to make sure it's on the beach and whistle it off. And we'll come back and collect that on day 5. Grab the Pikmin that are on the wall and then end the day. And there you go, that's day 3. Day 3 is pretty difficult, there's a lot to do, and the time constraints can be quite tight. Again, if you can't do everything in one day, just try and get all of the walls knocked down, and try and grow as many blues as you can. But yeah, I'd just say practice day 3 a lot. It can be difficult, but the more practice you do, the better you'll get. And you can make a few mistakes, and you can still do it all in one day. So right now we're going to be starting day 4. Now, day 4 is sort of what's going to make or break your 8-day run. So, this day needs to be done within a day. You need to do all of the parts in one day to make it an 8-day run. If not, it will be a 9-day run, which is still really good. So, to do this, you want to get 90 blues out, and you want to throw 20 Pikmin onto this ledge here. Then what you want to do is you want to C-stick them around here, and you want to get them onto this part. So sort of C-stick to the right and then disband them. It just takes a bit of practice. Come back over here and grab all of your Pikmin. You should have 70 blues with you. And you want to keep the other part off screen, because if the part's on screen, there's a chance the Pikmin can fall off it. Then what you want to do is you want to run over here and kill all of the shear grubs with your blue Pikmin. And then what you want to do, whistle them all, and you want to put about... You want to throw the Pikmin onto the bridge until you have about 33 left in your party. You can do it till you have about 34, but I just think 33 is a nice number for this tutorial. And I find that 33 is a nice amount to have with you here. Loading that bridge can be quite annoying sometimes because the shear grubs can be really close to it, but it's a case of just managing your Pikmin, move the shear grubs out the way, just try and kill the shear grubs away from it, if you can. And then once you have the 33 Pikmin, you can head towards the blowhog. Now, when you're killing this blowhog, you want to make sure, you see the lily pad on the left right there, there's like a little lily pad. Make sure the blowhog is sort of on this side of the lily pad. If the blowhog is too far the other direction, the Pikmin will carry the part in a different place. So the way to kill the blowhog is wait until he's about to blow the water at you, then move out of his way and throw your Pikmin on him. You just want to do that. If you try throwing the Pikmin on him straight away, he'll end up shaking them off. So you just want to do that, knock him down, and then grab him again. The way I did that part there is I threw 11 flowers to the side, and then I put the rest of them on the part. So right here, you just want to take this route through, and you want to distract this Wally Hop. So you want to make sure this Wally Hop jumps towards the island there. If you don't lure that Wally Hop, the Wally Hop will see the Pikmin that are carrying back the part, and the Wally Hop will try and kill the Pikmin that are carrying the part. So it's really important you move him. And now you want to come over to this section here with 31 Pikmin. So you want to throw 8 Pikmin on that bridge there, lure the Wally Hop to the side, run over here. There should be 3 Shearwigs, and the reason you bring 31 is because you only need 30, but if one Pikmin dies, you then have a spare Pikmin. So I'd highly recommend bringing 31 if you're a beginner, because you can afford to lose a Pikmin. If you lose a Pikmin on that section, just bring an extra blue with you later on. You want to go over here to lure this Wally Hop, and then you want to lure this Wally Hop into this corner here. The reason you lure that Wally Hop into the corner is so that he doesn't see the bridge Pikmin. And then what you want to do is you want to run back to the onion area, and you want to take out 10 yellows. Now if you've done that pretty quick, you'll beat the part back. So this part here is still being carried, and because I was pretty quick, I completely beat it back to the onion, so I can just speed it up with the yellows. Now this day, even though it's quite hard to do in one day, it can be very lenient really. You can make a few mistakes and still get it in a day, but you still need to play really well, and starting out it's a very hard thing to do this area in one day, so don't be miffed if it takes you a while, and even if it takes you 2 days, it's still pretty good, and it won't really have too much of an effect on your time. So yeah, you just want to go across this bridge right now and disband your Pikmin, so get further away from the sheer grubs, because if you're too close to those grubs, the Pikmin will pick them up. Grab only your blues, and you want to max load this part right here with your blues, so just disband into the part, run over here, grab your yellows, throw 5 onto the skull here, and then throw the other 5 onto this skull. Once you've thrown them, grab your extra blues. So I'm just going to grab these here, grab that one. Now by the time I've grabbed the blues, the yellows should have grabbed their bomb rocks. And there you go, we've got 10 bomb rocks, because there's 5 in each skull. Then what you want to do is you want to make your way around this part and just keep moving. This Wally Hop right here, he won't kill the Pikmin carrying the part. Because I max loaded the part, the Pikmin will get past it without being crushed. If the part isn't max loaded, the Wally Hop can kill them because they won't be moving quick enough, but they're moving really quick and they're all flowered. So yeah, it's very important that you have flowered Pikmin because it makes everything faster. If you didn't manage to flower them in the Forest Navel, there is a nectar patch behind the ship. So what you can do is, right at the start of the day, you can actually go behind there and flower up your blues. I've had to do that in a run before because I got terrible luck in the Forest Navel. It does waste a little bit of time at the start of the day, but it's much better to start the day with all flowers rather than leaves. Then what you want to do is you want to get all your Pikmin together and sort of C-stick them round, get them through this section here. One thing you want to be very careful about is Pikmin tripping over. So Pikmin can trip, and if they trip over, what you want to do is you want to disband your whole party and then whistle them again. You just want to be extra cautious that no Pikmin run into the ball bears or run into the blowhogs, because if a ball bear wakes up, it can be quite disastrous. Then what you want to do is you want to kill all of these Shearwigs, disband your yellow Pikmin far enough away from the Shearwigs that they don't pick them up, and go around this corner with only your blues. I'm going to whistle all of my Pikmin to me, and I'm going to go around to this bridge here. Now throw all of your blues onto this bridge until you have about 25, 26 left. So there you go, I got 25. And then what you want to do is you want to go around here, get them to go into the nectar patch, then just whistle them off it, and then grab your yellows. So this is another section right here where you're going to need motion controls, so I like to split my Pikmin up into 2 groups, and basically the reason we have motion controls is because we can reach this part quicker. So you want to throw all 25 of your blues onto that part, and then you want to throw all of your yellows onto the bomb rocks right here. I'm going to keep my motion controls on for a tiny bit, just because there's another trick coming up that needs motion controls. So during day 2 of the run, there was a trick where we blew up a wall that was in the water, and we're going to be doing the same sort of thing again. So before we do that, we're going to blow up this wall that needs 4 bomb rocks. Then we're going to blow up this white gate that needs 2. There we go. The part should be coming past, so what you want to do is you want to run down here, disband your Pikmin as you get to the water, and just lure this Wally Hop to the side. You don't have to lure the Wally Hop, but it makes this trick a lot easier. What you want to do here is you want to aim for this part of the wall and throw the bomb rocks onto the wall there. The reason you want to throw both bomb rocks at the same time is because it makes it easier to aim, because if you don't, then you're aiming at a smaller part of the wall. It can be quite hard to get the hang of, but because we got 10 bomb rocks, it means we have a bit of leeway, and if we make a mistake, we have 2 extra bomb rocks. Then what we want to do is we want to leave our yellows there and grab our blues. We want to go around this corner here and kill this cannon beetle. So this is the second cannon beetle of the run. So do the same thing as you did on day 2. This is slightly harder because we got blues instead of reds, and blues do less damage. With a little bit of practice, you should be able to easily one cycle him. And there we go. So just put all of your Pikmin onto the part right there. Just swarm the part. Sometimes there'll be a Pikmin that gets stuck in the snout of the cannon beetle. Just throw the extra Pikmin onto the part there. And then grab your yellows and make your way through the fiery section. If you still got any bomb rocks on you, throw them on the wall and disband your Pikmin on the stick. The reason you want to get rid of the bomb rocks is because we don't need bomb rocks, and there's a part later on where we need 10 yellows to grab it. And if we have bomb rocks, then we're not able to grab the part because we've got bomb rocks instead. So that's a really quick and easy way of getting rid of the bomb rocks. Right now, we want to grab our 31 Pikmin that are done with the bridge, and we want to go around here. Just avoid the wally hops, be careful that the Pikmin don't get crushed, and then put all 31 of your Pikmin onto that part there. Lure that wally hop, and then lure this wally hop right here. There we go, go around this corner, and then whistle your yellow Pikmin off the stick. Let them come to you, and just make your way back to base. So if you did that section nice and quick, there should be a part that is on its way back still. So the part we got from the cannon beetle, it's still on its way back. So what you want to do is you want to speed up this part, because we're going to need loads of Pikmin for the next section. Don't worry if everything's taking you a bit longer. This day is very difficult to get the hang of. This day took me ages to perfect, and even now it's sometimes hard to get a one-day completion of the area. However, I noticed on the Switch version it's much easier than Wii and GameCube. I find the controls are just a lot better, and it makes controlling the Pikmin and getting round and managing everything quicker. So get round here, and you want to throw 10 yellows onto this part of the wall, and then you want to use all your blues and put your motion controls on. The reason we moved the other part into the other area is if we left it near the water, it would basically be near the blowhog and it'd be annoying to collect. Right here, this is a trick where you need motion control, so you want to stand sort of diagonal to this wall right here, and you want to extend your cursor and you want to spam the throw button, and what will happen is the Pikmin will clip up onto the edge there and they'll grab this part that you normally need yellow Pikmin for by doing a puzzle. Doing this is something that you'll just need to practice a little bit. I'd highly recommend practicing it before you go for it in runs, because it can be very finicky, and I've actually lost a few runs to it before because of how hard it can be. But once you get a feel for it, it becomes really easy. So just practice it a little bit, get a feel for where you need to throw the Pikmin, and you should be all good. Then what you want to do is you want to stand here and use your motion controls to aim for this Ionium Jet. The reason you use the motion controls is because you can reach further with it, and you want to fully load it with Pikmin, and then what you want to do, lure the water dumples and then zoom in your camera. The reason I zoom in the camera is because the water dumples are now off screen and they're not going to see the Ionium Jet. If any Pikmin die from the Ionium Jet, it doesn't matter because we want to prioritize speed. Get your 10 yellows, take them around here. I'm going to leave them in that corner because a few of them got stuck. And this part right here, you just want to C-stick round and you want to make sure no yellows fall. So what I do is I always C-stick upwards here. Make sure Olimar is facing the ship part and make sure his cursor is facing the ship part. Then what you want to do is you want to C-stick upwards and throw onto the part. Now, because Olimar is facing to the right, you want to have him sort of facing down right, and what that will do is the Pikmin that are being controlled by him will sort of stand behind him, and they'll be closer to the wall. If Olimar is facing a different direction, the Pikmin can easily fall down. So that section just takes a bit of practice, but once you master it, it becomes really easy. Then what you want to do is you want to go straight back to the ship and grab any Pikmin that are back there. You should have about 65 to 70 Pikmin with you. 60 to 70, not 65 to 70. And what you want to do with those Pikmin is you want to take them over to grab the final part. So the final part is right over here that requires 50 Pikmin, but put on as many as you can because it's sort of the determining factor of this area. Once the part is loaded with Pikmin, head back across the bridge and wake up these two bull bears. The reason we use the bridge is because if we don't, the Wollihop can see us and chase us. So it's always best to go across that bridge just to avoid the Wollihop for safety. And now you get to sort of relax. So the run has been very intense up to this point, and this area has been very full on, but now you have a good sort of 30-second window where you get to do absolutely nothing. So you want to lure these two bull bears into the corner here, and then you just want to lie down. And lying down right here is hilarious because the two bull bears will completely ignore the ship part and they'll just try and eat you. But the thing is, because you're invincible, they're not able to do anything, but they're distracted. And it's much quicker than killing them, and it's just so funny to see. I never get bored of this, it's hilarious. And there you go, once the ship part reaches that circle on the floor, to that white circle, then you want to sort of move towards the ship again. And there you go, you've collected that part, and the only part left to get is the one we left earlier, right near the base, which is the one we got from the cannon beetle. So we'll quickly grab that now, fully load it with Pikmin just so it gets back to the ship, and there you go, you just did Distant Spring in one day. So as you can see, I was pretty quick there, and I had an extra tick of time left. Now when I first started this, my first ever one day, I probably had about 2 seconds left on the clock. So doing this with a whole tick of time left is definitely gonna take some practice. But I believe you can get it down. Even if it takes you an extra day, it's okay. But there you go, if you beat this area in one day, it means you're on track to do an 8-day run. And thankfully, like I said, these next 3 days are pretty easy. So what you want to do now is go back to the Forest Naval. I'm going to talk a bit more about Distant Spring in a sec, once we get settled in the Forest Naval. So this is sort of a cleanup day. So all you want to do is take out 16 yellow Pikmin. You only really need 15, but I always take out an extra just in case something stupid happens. Because you never know, this game can sometimes... Pikmin can just randomly get stuck, Pikmin can randomly die sometimes. So making sure you take out an extra blue and an extra yellow is really important. And yeah, so take out 21 blues, 16 yellows, and then fill the rest of the field with reds. What you want to do is you want to take them down here, and you want to head towards this area here where the black gate was. So with Distant Spring, again like I said, it's the hardest day of the run, and getting it in one day is going to take a lot of practice, it's going to take a lot of sort of fails, but once you get it down, once you get comfortable with the controls, I think it's not too bad to do, and I can do it pretty consistently. It's a really fun day once you get good at the game. But when you start out, it can be really, really difficult. But trust me, the more you practice it, the better it gets, the easier it gets, the more fun it gets. So load the bridge with all of your Pikmin apart from 20 blues. Take the 20 blues over to this part right here, and carry it out of the water. Once it's out of the water, let it get onto land a little bit. You don't want to leave it too close to the water because the red Pikmin might have issues picking it up, so just make sure it has plenty of room. Then what you want to do is you want to put the 20 blues onto this bridge right here. So just to span them, they'll just go on straight onto the bridge. Grab these Pikmin right here, throw them onto the bridge. So you want to make sure you have 20 reds with you, and have 20 reds like as your maximum, because the more Pikmin you have on the bridge, the quicker the bridge will get built. So having the most Pikmin on the bridge possible is always best, because it's sort of the determining factor right here. Because of the nature of this route, we've got nothing to do while we wait for the bridge, so if you're quite quick here, you've got to wait sort of 10-15 seconds, which is okay, because downtime is sort of nice to have. So I think it's one more bridge knock. There we go. So once it's sort of knocked over, throw your blues onto the geyser, split up your Pikmin, and throw your yellows onto this part of the platform here. The reason we get yellows is because we need to reach this ship part. So grab your yellows, throw them all onto the part. Once you've done that, go down here, whistle all your blues and reds, and run to this side here. You want to make sure the ship part is off screen. The reason you want it off screen is because it can bounce when it falls down, and there's a very small chance it can actually fall off into the void. So right here, we want to whistle the Pikmin off. You don't want the yellow Pikmin to be on the part, we want it to only be reds, so there we go. We're just putting them on. took a little bit of extra time because our blues tried to follow us, but that was still okay. Something I recommend you do there is you can actually put 3 extra reds onto the part, and it's actually quite good to do that because it will speed up the part, and that's the part we're going to be waiting for later. So what you want to do is you want to come over here and you want to disband your Pikmin about here. Don't put them too close to the part because they'll all grab it, and you don't want that. So have only your reds and yellows grab that part, and then take your blues, and we want to pick up the final part, which is the first Ionium jet. So all 4 of the parts we need are now moving once we grab the Ionium jet. So just run down here, grab the Ionium jet, and then head back to base. There we go. I'm just double checking they all grab. And the rest of this day is really chill. So what we want to do now is we just want to wait for the parts to get back. There's nothing more we can do. All of our Pikmin are carrying parts, so we can just chill really. So just stand at base and wait for the parts to get back. Once the first part gets back, use the Pikmin from the first part to speed up the part that's the furthest back. So for example, we'd be speeding up the Libra. Because the Libra takes the longest, it's important that we sort of speed that up first, so adding extra Pikmin to it is sort of important. I lost a little bit of time here for like a stupid reason. So I was trying to knock down these plants here. The reason I knocked down those plants is because sometimes that big part can get caught on them. Now the mistake I made there was I stood too close to the ship part, and because I was pressing A it was activating the text from the ship part. So just try not to do that. And there you go, so all 4 parts are coming in. You want to make sure that the parts don't sort of go into a traffic jam. Sometimes it can happen where the parts all go into a massive traffic jam and they all struggle to get in at once. So just make sure there's a little bit of space between each one. And then once they're in, you can sort of load up the Libra and you can get the Libra moving a little bit quicker. But yeah, it's sort of a nice time to chill. Day 4 and day 3 and day 2, they're all really stressful days, but day 5, 6 and 7 there's a lot of downtime where you can just wait for parts to get back. There's nothing too crazy or technical you have to do, you just have to clean up a few parts. So there you go, just fully load the Libra with Pikmin, preferably flower Pikmin. You should preferably have more flowers. If you Pikmin are not flowered, then use this extra time to just flower them up. You can use the honey wisp or you can use the nectar patch near the base to do that. But just use your time effectively. Try not to waste too much time in these days because they don't need to be very long. Each of these cleanup days should only take about 5 minutes each. So there we go, day 5 cleanup is done. We've got every part in the Forest Naval. Now all we need to do is do the Forest of Hope cleanup and then go back to Impact Site to get the final part there before the final trial. So the only things we have to do in this area is we just need to build the bridge to get to the Libra piece, and then we just need to kill the Snagret to get the radar piece. So to do that, take out about 95 blues and then take out 5 yellows. You only need 3 yellows, but I always take out about 5 just in case they die, because they can die and it can be stupid. So make sure all of your blues are following you, make sure they're all out of the onion. Kill that dwarf bulbul because it can get in the way, and take only your blues with you right here, leave your yellows there. Kill all of these shear grubs. Now you can swarm them, I just ended up swarming in the end because it worked out a little bit better. And then what you want to do is you want to throw about 15 blues onto this bridge. 14 to 15 blues onto that bridge there. Then what you want to do is you want to run through this water here and throw about, I'd say about 40 blues onto this bridge. It depends how confident you are. If you're confident at killing the Snagret, you can throw about 45 blues onto that bridge. If you're not as confident killing the Snagret, throw 40 to 35, so then you have extra blues with you. Right here, I was just running through, and I actually took advantage of this honey wisp right here, so I really wanted my blues to be flowered up, so I basically used that extra nectar patch to do so. Kill this dwarf bulbul right here, and use your yellows to grab the bomb rocks. If you want to, you can blow up this wall on day 2, but because I'm trying to make it as beginner friendly as possible, doing it on this day technically saves in-game time on day 2, because day 2 is a very tight day, so doing this extra little wall will probably spend an extra 10 seconds on day 2, so saving any time you can get and doing it on day 6 is always best. Take only your blues into this area and get them to push the box. Just go into the water, throw them straight onto the box. Then you want to go around to the right side of the box and whistle any Pikmin that fell down. And what you want to do right here is you want to C-stick the blue Pikmin into a little group, and once you whistle them, run straight forward and C-stick them across the bridge and they should follow you. Then what you want to do is you want to run over to the snagger right here and just aim for the head. Stand sort of under him and just aim straight for the head. They should do a decent amount of damage. Try and whistle them off before they get shaken off, then they won't get deflowered. This fight can be a little bit annoying and there can be an element of RNG depending on where he pops up and how quick he pops up. But I managed to get him in 3 cycles right here, so basically he can do this action there where he gets stuck in the ground, and if he does, just swarm him. And all of the Pikmin will grab onto his head, and you should be able to kill him really quickly. If a load of your Pikmin get deflowered, what you can do is you can basically flower them back up using the nectar patch to your right in the grass. But because we didn't need to do that, we just didn't bother. And then we load up the rest of the Pikmin onto that part. Then what you want to do is speed up this bridge. You don't have to speed up this bridge, but I decided to. I think it was pointless because it was going to be done anyway. But you want to grab this part right here. So there you go. Just fully put all of your Pikmin onto it. Go around it. It's actually the Sagittarius, I think. It's not called the Libra. The Libra is the one in the Forest Navel. Just fully load both parts so they're both moving at full speed. And then what you want to do is you want to go back to where the yellow Pikmin were. Just grab your yellows so they don't die. You don't have to grab them, but it's always nice to save Pikmin when you can, and it doesn't cost any extra time, so you might as well. So there you go, save your 5 yellows. Go back round here, and just wait for the parts to get back. And again, if you have any leaf Pikmin, if you have a considerable amount of leaf Pikmin, just use this extra time right here to flower them up. You could use this extra time to flower up any yellows as well, or if you've lost a considerable amount of blues, just grab a few pellets, grab a few enemy corpses, and just grow some more blues, because the more the merrier, and you want to have a full field of blues for day 8. So there we go, we've finished the Forest of Hope, and that's all very good. Again, if you didn't get all the parts on day 2, you can maybe do a bit of extra stuff in the Forest of Hope on the other side of the area, once you've got the Snagret piece. But you shouldn't be worrying about that too much, because you probably will be getting this within 8 days, so it's all good. And you should be getting 6 parts on day 2 anyway, and if you don't, again, you can just get them later on, and it doesn't make too much difference to the route other than doing a distance spring later. So there you go, the only areas we have left to do is the impact site cleanup day, and then the final trial. So grab 40 blues and 6 reds, 6 yellows I mean. So you want to go around here, and you want to throw your yellows straight onto the bomb rocks. Again, throw them onto the bomb rocks, don't disband them or swarm them. The reason you throw them is because they come straight back to you, like I keep saying. Go straight up here. And something interesting I want to say right here is if you do this in 9 days, you'll be on day 8 by this day. And if you're on day 8, the Mamuta will spawn in the middle of that arena there, because the Mamuta spawns on day 8, day 10, day 12, and so on. And the Gulick spawns on day 9, day 11, day 13, and onwards. So if that's the case, if you're doing it in 9 days, you actually want to do Impact Site before Forest of Hope, because of the boss spawning. So to attack this clam right here, you want to throw on the right side of the clam. The reason why you throw in this side of the clam is because it takes more damage that way. Once you've destroyed the clam, just disband all of your blues onto the part and carry it back as quick as possible. And yeah, Impact Site cleanup is the quickest day in the whole run. It should only take you about 2 minutes. All it is just grabbing that one part and carrying it back. I just destroyed these pallets right here just so it had a clear path. I made a tiny mistake right here. I carried the pallets back, but the pallets got in the way a tiny bit, as you can see, moving it. I probably lost about a second, but it doesn't really matter too much. But there you go, I got the part back, and we should have 29 out of 30 parts total. So the only thing left to do now is the final trial. If you do the final trial quite well, you can do it in about 4 or 5 minutes. I think in this run I did it in just under 5 minutes. So it's a pretty good example of the final trial. And again, this is all a single segment run. This is my all parts PB in 108, like I said. So the idea of getting a faster run than this for me right now is quite difficult, and personally I'm not grinding the game because I think once I get to a certain point I get happy with my time and I don't really feel the need to grind like 10 seconds off of it for like multiple hours of resetting. Because I like really value my time with games and I want it to be fun, I don't really see the point in just trying to knock little seconds off here and there. Like if I could save a whole minute then I probably would try and get a 107, but right now I'm just happy with the time I got and I'd much rather just make informative content to do with the game. So for the final trial, take out about 90 blues and take out 10 yellows. Throw 3 of your yellows onto that island right there and take all 90 of your blues into the water. This bridge right here, you want to load it with about 70-ish blues, so right here I put a little too many on, so I had to take some of them off. So there we go. I put on about I think 70 something blues, and there you go. Put the rest of your blues onto that part there. Go back over here and grab your 3 yellows. The reason it says 4 on my counter is because there's a blue on the gate, which thinks it's near me, but it's not. Throw your yellow Pikmin onto these bomb rocks right here. If the bomb rocks aren't showing up, just throw them into the funnel and the yellow should always be able to grab it. Then you want to use your motion controls, and doing your motion controls will allow you to throw your yellows across this gap. It's really important you do that because it means the yellows can reach the wall, and then you can just turn your motion controls off. And then you want to run over here, and as soon as this bridge is done, whistle your blues, put them all away and take out your reds. The only hard part of this day really is the final boss itself. I'm going to explain the final boss right now even though we're not quite at it yet. Just because the rest of this day is sort of building the bridge and pushing the box, which doesn't really need much explanation. The reason we get the reds out is because they do 1.5 times damage, so especially for beginner to intermediate players, it makes the final boss a lot more easier to do in 2 cycles. You don't have to spam as fast, and there's a lot more safety with it, and even if all your reds die for some reason, if you have a catastrophic, like, massacre of Pikmin, then what you can do is you can go back to the blue onion and take out all of your blues, and you kind of have a second army of Pikmin to attempt it. So even if you really mess up and kill all your Pikmin, you have another army of 100 Pikmin to fight the final boss, so don't worry too much. That happened to me before in a run. I panicked, but then I realised I had loads of extras. So with the final boss, you basically want to do a technique with him, where you throw a bomb rock in front of him when the fight starts, and what he'll do is he's going to try and eat the bomb rock, but because the bomb rock is in a certain place, the yellow Pikmin will just throw the bomb rock straight into his mouth, and because of that it will stun him. So you want to go around here, and you can actually get bomb rocks from this funnel, so if you stand right near the wall and throw the Pikmin, they should be able to grab some bomb rocks. Leave your blues to the side. We don't need the blues are just going to slow us down by doing less damage. So right here, you're going to sort of just need to experiment with it a little bit, and definitely practice it a lot before you do runs. So right here, disband your Pikmin, and right in front of him, throw a yellow about here. You see this line? There's like a line right there where you want to throw it. And go to the side, and as you can see, the yellow will throw the bomb right into his mouth, and you want to attack his face. Now, what you want to do is you want to get his gauge to about half health, and then what you want to do is you want to do the exact same thing again. So throw the yellow right there, and there we go. Then spam the Pikmin onto his face, and that should kill him in 2 cycles. So that's a really quick way of killing the final boss. Now, if you mess this strategy up, the fight can be a bit of a mess. But I guess the best thing you can do after that is just try and move out of his way when he's jumping around. Wait for him to dribble, because when he dribbles, that's when he's about to eat Pikmin. And then you can just throw another bomb rock into his mouth, or you can try the setup again. But yeah, definitely practice that final day, because that fight can be pretty difficult. I made it look really easy there, but trust me, the timing can be quite precise, so just make sure you practice that. Make sure you get the Pikmin in the right place. And the only thing left to do now is just load the part with as many Pikmin as you can and just get it back to the ship. And the timer stops once the part touches the ship and the game moves into the next cutscene. So 3, 2, 1, boom, there you go. that's when the timer stops. So final time of that run was 1:08:51. So this route, really good route for beginners. It's a really beginner friendly 8-day route that allows you to lose Pikmin. It allows you to make a few mistakes where you can recover and still do it in 8 days. Generally that was a pretty clean run of the game, and I think it's a pretty good example of what you can do as a beginner / intermediate player. So if you found this tutorial helpful, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. I make videos now and then, and when I do, I definitely enjoy making them, and hopefully it's helpful to you. Again, there's other tutorials out there by Monkagi, Strongman Lin, PiePusher. They're all great Pikmin speedrunners, really good at the game, way out of my field. Really good at what they do, really informative videos. So if you're interested in doing a more advanced route to the game, you want to get better, follow their tutorials, listen to their advice, join the Pikmin Speedrun Discord, and yeah, good luck with the game. And no matter where you start, no matter what your time is, whether it's an hour and 20 minutes, whether it's an hour and 5 minutes, whether you're doing the game in 3 hours, it really doesn't matter. We're all just having fun. I just want to make the game more accessible to people. I want people to have fun. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.